I think Berkeley at the moment are finding London challenging. As we recently said in our annual statement, our sales are down 20%, which we think, given the uncertainty in the market, given the stamp duty increase we've seen, which we think is the main reason for it, and Brexit, which has all caused uncertainty, that the market stood up very well. We're always building into the market. And we've obviously, given the size of our developments in London, we're generally on a 3-year cycle. So most of what we got's now 18 months into that cycle, so we will be busy for the next 18 months. And we're obviously now considering the next generation of sites. We've got a number of regeneration sites going into production, so we're reasonably comfortable where we are. I mean, we've always looked at large regeneration sites. By definition, they tend to be difficult, complicated. They generally take 2 to 5 years to bring to fruition, and they obviously need a lot of capital in them to get them started because of infrastructure and various other challenges. And we're looking at that type of longer-term regeneration site. We are encouraged with Brexit. I mean, look, I'm terribly British about this. The British face into it. I think the British have got to stiff up a lip about these things, and the British tend to get on with life. I equally am encouraged by the government. I think it is a new government. I think they are looking at things differently, and I think they've got their challenges. But hopefully, with the industry, they will address them, and we will face into the shortage we have in housing and the crisis we have for young people. I don't like stamp duty, and I don't say that because we're a developer. I think it's a transaction tax. I think it affects the wrong people. I don't think it helps young people. I don't think it makes people feel the good feel factor. I don't think people aspire when they're paying taxes of that nature, and I don't believe the government will get any extra revenue out of it. So I think they should address that and look at it seriously and change that in the budget. And I would like to see the Chancellor really face into stamp duty. Oh, I think we all have egos, don't we? It was nice to be in the Footsie 100. Equally, it's business as usual. We got to get on with business. You know, house building's always been a cyclical business, and it's about managing the business in the turn down and challenges that we're facing now. I think this is perhaps one of the big challenges that most people are silent on. I mean, we have in this country a real skill shortage. You know, with Brexit, if we send the European labour home, and 50% of my labour is European, so that would be a big problem for Berkeley. Equally, modern methods of construction have got to be faced into. We've been looking at this system for over 5 years. We have 3 sites in production now, as you probably know, and so far it's proven very successful. And the problem we have is, when I was a young man, I could build a house in 20 weeks. It's now taken me 14 weeks, which all adds to the costs and the prelims. So I think it's an industry-wide challenge. And I am encouraged to see the number of people in the industry facing into it. I don't think land is the challenge. I think that the public sector owns plenty of land. I think there is a lot of land out there. I think there's a lot of land that somebody put a line around in 1947 and called it greenbelt. Well, if it's a quarry or a gravel pit or a breaker's yard, it should be brought back into use for the community. We're talking about additionality here. We're talking about affordability. We're talking about homes for young people. And that's the government's number one focus. It must get that land into the hands of the developers, be it housing associations, everybody that can produce homes. And we need more supply. And the minute we get more supply, you will see house prices come down. The reason I say they should be 30% affordable, I think it's about community. I think it is about people's aspirations, and I think people fit into those communities. There's no stigma about it. So that's my first point on communities and affordable. My second point is, every time we add bureaucracy or we add red tape, they will get perhaps 35, 40% affordable, and we go through months of viability. I'd much rather see a number settled, let the industry deal with it, because all that'll happen, they'll get more affordable on fewer sites. Let's have less affordable and much more sites, and let's encourage everybody in the industry to go forward and get on with facing into the challenge, which is where I started, the additionality and affordability.